I'm Logan D, owner of Low Down Deep Records from London. I started Low Down Deep in 2006. The main reason why I started it is because I wasn't getting the tunes I wanted from producers out there. So I thought, make my own label up, sign tunes off of producers, and then I'd get a bit of exclusivity on the tracks. And we done a launch night for the first track, and that was to basically, I wasn't getting bookings, like big bookings that I wanted to, so I just thought, well, maybe start off my own nights and events, and I'd be able to start playing good times instead of like 9 till 10 every set. I could get like a set that's like 12 till 1 and maybe have a few people in there to try and start getting a bit of fan base behind me. I mean, I was brought up on lovers rock, reggae, that sort of sound. So I was more into the jungle stuff. Shy FX, Mampy Swift was a big influence for me. Obviously, my father, Andy C. There's loads really, to be honest. But yeah, Shy FX was probably my favourite producer. Mampy Swift was my favourite DJ. Probably Fearless MC. Back when I was starting, the Cool FM, the radio station I was playing on, that gave me a little lift up into the scene. But everything's changed nowadays, 10 years on, 12, 15 years on. I think it's all about producing. So producers are more likely to make good tracks and get DJ sets from that rather than actual DJs. It has changed from when I started out. So my advice to anyone sort of coming up in the scene is to get a Logic or a Cubase, a computer, get on the beats, and be out socialising in clubs, handing out the tracks, and that's the best way forward, I think. I mean, I disagree with the sync buttons, and I think it has took a lot away from it now. You could get a bright little 10-year-old boy that's grown up on music and he could be as good as DJ as anyone else now. So it is a shame that aspect's been taken away. So really, I suppose now it's more about the selector when it comes to playing a set and getting the crowd going. It's the actual tunes you're playing, because yeah, you don't really hear a lot of people mixing bad these days because they've got the sync buttons, and yeah, it's a shame really. I think it would just come down to hearing the track, coming across it. People send emails into the website with demos, and if the track's good, then I'll be hitting them up straight away. I think with social media you can overkill it a little bit, so if you are one of them people out there that's trying to promote, maybe not going at it every single hour of the day, it can get a bit overkill. So yeah, I mean, I can just tell a good track straight away. And some tracks I'll hear and I'm not really liking. I hear it out in a club and it's a different story. So sometimes you have to test a track a couple of times as well. I think it was 2008. I come over for the Rather Rude crew. And ever since it is, and people might think I'm lying, but it is the best place in the world for me to come outside the UK. I really, really love Toronto. It's so similar to England in music aspect and just as a country in general. I love it over here. My dad has also highly recommended me that he loves this place. Every time he's come here, he's had a good time. To the days when he was coming out with Fearless quite a lot, and GQ, Kenny Ken, but yeah, he's always bigged up Toronto and the whole of Canada really. I mean, he loves Canada more than the States and most places in Europe, so yeah, I suppose I've followed in his footsteps on that one. Well, I first met up with him again when I was 12, and when I met up with him, I was listening to jungle drum and bass from when I was 11. My next door neighbour was showing me tapes and stuff, and just loved the bass line really more than anything, just the B line, and When I actually met up with him and he told me who he was, I'd never heard of him before. I used to go down the local record shop and get flyers and could remember Hype and Groove Rider, Kenny Ken, Randall. So when I asked him his DJ name, he said Mickey Finn. I didn't know who it was, and a couple of years later, I suppose, listening to sets in his car of like AWOL with him and GQ, and really getting to like the music, I suppose it pushed me more into doing drum and bass. And I think it was 13. I was 13, and at Christmas he bought me a set of decks. I'd be mixing away in my shed down the end of the garden, thinking I'm mixing, and about a year later, I was having a mix and actually got one mix in correctly, and then realised that for the whole year and a half that I'd been mixing, I was clanging and just totally being a really bad DJ, but thought I was good. So it weren't until I started working in a record shop called Boogie Times, and the guy, the owner of the shop said, if you are not mixing correctly in 6 months, then we're going to sack you. So I would go home and practice every night, and eventually in that 6 months started getting to get the mixes in. And yeah, that was about 15, and then I think I got my first booking at 16, and my second booking I was actually playing back to back with my dad, which was throwing me in the deep end really. So, but it's been a long old road. It's been 15 years of trying to get there, and I'm only like 3 steps up the ladder of about 20 steps. So there's a long way to go, but I really enjoy it, and yeah, just got to keep being consistent and carrying on. So it's coming to the end of 2013. We've just started a Low Down Deep tour, which is going across Europe and hitting places like here tonight, Canada, and we're finishing the tour off in April. Some of the bigger parties on the tour, we've got the Christmas Shindig, which is the 21st of December in London. 10 days later, New Year's Eve, we're up in Birmingham with Raveology. They're the people that do the Drum and Bass Awards. And then next year, the big one really, the biggest party of the year for Low Down Deep every year, it's mine and Magistrate's birthday bash. That falls on Easter Thursday, the 17th of April. So yeah, that's hopefully going to be a big one, touch wood. And record-wise, Magistrate's EP's just come out. That was released on the 1st of November. It's got 6 tracks on there, plus a bonus track. You can get that from lowdowndeep.com, and then it comes out on iTunes and all the other stores on the 1st of December. The next EP up after that is Sly and Paxo. They've done 5 tracks actually. That comes out on Christmas Eve. And then after that, for 2014, we've got Pleasure and Heist are doing an EP, and that's probably going to come out around Valentine's Day in February. Thanks for tuning into this interview, and we hope to be back over in Canada as soon as possible.